Welcome to another edition of the Asian Nation. I've been teasing you about this for a while, and she's in the shot so you can see who we are visiting with today.
Stop just a second. I'm sorry, Rick. Do I look here? Do I look? Where do I look?
Yeah, you just look at him.
Don't talk. Okay, I'm so sorry. Should we start all over?
You're being interviewed now. You're not. You're not on TV.
Oh my God!
This is so weird. I don't know if I've ever been interviewed for anything.
That's it.
Okay.
So
Poor Rick.
These are going to be some great outtakes. Welcome.
Wait. The door's getting ready to close. Wait.
Another edition.
Whoa!
You're wired.
What happened?
She's wired.
Y'all are scaring me to death over here. I hope this is all on tape. Oh my God.
You got something there? Yeah, thank you, Rick.
Oh my Lord. Y'all are scaring me to death.
I just need that breeze.
I think you just put all this on just like this.
No doubt. So far, so good. Oh my word.
All right, so you want to start this again?
Are you ready to go now? Oh my God, some things never change, and something should.
Okay.
Welcome to another edition of Asian Nation, and I've been telling you for a few weeks we were going to do a little series on some alum, and one of the alum that I've gotten a couple of emails about.
Only a couple?
More than a couple,
okay,
yes.
Good. All right.
Is what's Diane doing? How's Diane doing? How's she enjoying retirement?
I love you, Johnny. I haven't seen you in forever.
Well, now that we're both fully vaccinated, full disclosure.
Yes, we've had all of our puppy shots. We're
and you
good.
know, you're not fully vaccinated just when you get the second shot. It's 2 or 3 weeks after the second shot, which we're both way past that.
My second shot was the middle of March.
So we're good.
And I tell you, because that's the big thing that people ask me all the time, how do you enjoy retirement? What's it like? And when I talk all the time, I say, it's so wonderful because I can stay awake until midnight. Just because I can.
Well, you can, but do you?
Oh, yes. My schedule, it's now, from 360, 180. It used to be that we had to go to bed early, and now I don't go to bed until midnight. I've been reading a whole lot. I love to reading a whole lot, because now I can stay awake.
So when you were working, your bedtime was?
Well, the thing is, and you understand this too, we'd come home, we'd be so exhausted from the day that we'd take a nap, or at least I would. I'd take a nap. And what would happen is then you get a little refreshed, you get a second wind, so you're up until 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Well, when you've got to get up at 2:30 in the morning, you get 4 or 5 hours here, 4 or 5 hours there.
Get it when you can.
Oh my gosh. I stay awake till midnight just because I can. And the other night actually, I was reading John Grisham's latest novel. It's A Time for Mercy. Oh my gosh, it's a good book. But anyhow, I got so involved in it, I didn't want to put it down. And I look at my clock by my bedside table, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And I thought, oh my gosh, I really need to go to bed. And I'm thinking, 4 months ago, 2 o'clock in the morning, I would get up at 2:30 in the morning. It was almost time for me to get up when I was working at the station, put my book down, went to bed, slept great.
Wow.
Slept great.
So no alarm clock.
No. Well, on Sunday mornings, I'm still late for church. Yeah, I'm still kind of... They say I'm always running in for church, so that's... But it's just so refreshing to be able to kind of have your own schedule. With COVID and all, I haven't been able to do a whole lot yet. I'm so looking forward to seeing my family. I haven't seen my family up north since Christmas of 2019, before COVID.
Really?
So, and I don't, and they've been very strict about quarantining. They've been very careful about, because I have family in Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Wow. And everybody's very careful about that. I still, Johnny, and everybody's gotten their vaccine. Everybody up north, all my family, everybody's fine. Everybody is, thank you, Lord, is fine. But I'm just not comfortable going through an airport yet or getting on a plane. Yeah. So I'm going to do that, for this winter, to go see everybody at Christmas. And I was kind of thinking, well, maybe I should go like before Thanksgiving, stretch it out, stay for Christmas, come back, celebrate Happy New Year. And I kind of threw that to my sister-in-law on the phone about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And, when I said that, and I was kind of half joking, half kidding about it, I heard crickets, like, she's going to come and stay for 6 weeks. And she said, oh, Di, we'd love that. I said, Joanne, I'm just kidding.
I wonder what she'd be doing behind the scenes. We'd love that.
Say no. But anyhow, I'm just so looking forward to seeing my family. And
I gotta tell you, you look great, but I've noticed a couple of things. Number one, your hair is longer.
Yes, my hair is
longer.
And
your hair looks redder.
Yes. And we were talking about that too, because so many times in the studio with all the lights, the studio lights, well, my hair was always the hair of
multiple colors,
the multiple color hair. Yeah, the Joseph coat of many colors is my hair of many colors. And you remember all that when I had to get my passport, they said, what is the color of your hair? Remember that?
Gosh.
And the lady asked me that, and I said, take your choice. You tell me what color my hair is. I
Brown,
don't know.
blonde, red,
whatever.
Oh my God.
But anyhow, it is kind of fun just to go and just kind of carte blanche, do whatever you like. And if you don't like it, you go back. But it's not that everybody is seeing your hair under the the lights. Because sometimes the lights, they're really harsh. Because you know about your hairs and how that happens.
Careful,
sometimes.
watch yourself.
Your hairs look really good, that I got to tell you. So it's just kind of fun to do whatever, and not to be so concerned about stuff. Stuff like
you do look much more relaxed and things like that. But now, can you watch TV the same way a normal person can, or are you critical when you watch the news?
We, of course, Channel 9, we're still number one. We're still the absolute best. And I got to tell you, the weather team, oh my gosh. When I didn't even stick my nose out the door during the big freeze, I'm taking pictures out my window. That ice was like a northern ice storm. I have never seen so much ice coat my little shrubs in front, my trees. My Mardi Gras beads were frozen, because I had Mardi Gras beads outside. So I'm taking snaps, inside the house to send to all my friends and my family up north, because this was a big deal. And then I'm thinking, I am so thankful that we have the weather team that we do, that they're keeping everybody posted. They're there, and I've had so many compliments about Jared, about the new young man there, and then Steve taking my place and Jeff doing it, and of course Jay. They say, yes, Jay talked to us again the other night, talking about, severe thunderstorm warning or tornado watch that we always talk about. Jay, hollering at us over the phone. So, but it's good to know that.
But when you watch the weather, do you go, I would have probably done it this way?
Oh, no.
This way. So you're not critical? Because when I left radio, I can't listen to the radio without being critical.
No, and I was interested to see how how all the boys, I call them the boys, the weather boys, how they all have their own method, how they all have their own style. They're all very unique individuals that come together so well as an incredibly strong weather team.
Yeah.
So now I do kind of miss being on the weather app, the four of us. It was a cute little picture of me on the weather app with the three boys. And I do miss, seeing myself in promos or being in the background or whatever. But it's a good group, and I miss you all. I miss my crazy little morning show family. And you know what I really miss? I really miss at 4:30 the little birthdays, the zippy little.
Oh my gosh.
I miss the little snappy birthday song. And now this is going to be on Tuesday, right?
Correct.
So, tomorrow whose birthday it is? Liz Coe.
Liz Coe,
Liz
that's
Coe, the
right.
27th of April. Liz Coe!
Happy birthday,
It's
Liz.
Yes, it's her, and I'm sure y'all are going to do something spectacular in the morning.
Yeah,
and all that.
they probably let her off for a week or something with that.
I'm sure. I'm sure. So I do miss my little family in the mornings, and it's just that, like I said, because people ask me that all the time, do you get to see anybody? And, of course, with your work schedule and all that, and with COVID, I said, no, not really, but we're looking forward to, now that restrictions are easing and things are looking a whole lot better, again, thank you, Lord, as far as people being healthy, I'm looking forward to having lunch or having little dinner parties.
I
or
went
just
to see
getting
Mom
together.
in Beaumont,
Yeah.
JoJo.
Yeah, I love Jo. She's good.
She's great, but that
Good.
was the first time in 15 months. And like you were saying with your family, you hadn't seen him since the late 2019.
Yeah, it'll be 2 years. It'll be, when I finally get to see him, it'll be
That's
2
nuts.
years. Yeah.
In your lifetime, do you ever remember something that was shut down like that?
No. And the thing is, and you know how I like to travel. You know how I like to go. I'm so looking forward. I've got a little mini trip, a little road trip with a couple of girlfriends for this summer. I have a little mini trip with another little set of friends
be
for
driving,
the fall.
or are you gonna risk it?
Driving.
Okay.
So I'm not planning on going through an airport, like I said, until either Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's or whatever. And this has given me such a wonderful opportunity, Johnny, because you know how busy we are and how tired we are sometimes, and we just can't sit and relax and visit with friends. I have reconnected with so many friends.
See, that's the positive thing that came out of the pandemic, I think.
And living down here for 37 years, because I've lived here as long as I was at the station, for the 37 years. And as a matter of fact, I went to supper with a friend of mine the other night, my very first friend at Channel 9. From 38 years ago.
What?
She and her adult daughter, we met and we had supper the other night. And I'm telling you what, those friendships, there were chunks of time, of course, that we didn't see each other very much. And then we'd see each other, and then we would. You know how that goes, that you see each other and then you don't. But it is, and that's we text later, everybody's home safely. We're going to do this more often. Then the other day, I visited with some friends that she and her adult daughters used to go with me to New York. Remember when we'd do the Christmas trip in New York?
Yeah.
So we were sitting there. I hadn't seen her.
Shopping with Diane Deaton and Macy's.
Oh yes, indeed. We hadn't seen each other in the longest time. She's an older. She and her husband are in their late 80s and early 90s. Still balls of fire, so much fun. They have a large family. They have a large, their grandchildren, great-grandchildren. So we had a hard time getting together. I went over to their house, and I'm telling you, when she got my neck and hugged me on, it
felt weird but good.
It was,
Didn't
and
it?
then to see
to
her,
hug somebody,
yes, and then to see her and to laugh about the trip. But that's how you start to think about how many people that you know over the years that you've been somewhere. And your connections, because I have connections here, or this group I did this with, and again, as a matter of fact, I'm having lunch with some friends Friday that I haven't seen them in years. I was a guest speaker at a ladies' Christian luncheon at their church 10-15 years ago. And but they called me, or they sent me a text, as a matter of fact, before I left the station, or an email, please let's get together. So I'm having lunch with them on Friday. I haven't seen them since that ladies' conference that we did, I used to do a lot of Christian speaking and what have you. So I It is so
No reason
nice.
to stop that.
Well, in the future, who knows? In the future,
As
things open up and progress and are a little bit better. But
now, one of the emails I got a few weeks ago said, "Do you know if she's going to move back home?"
Well,
and I said, "Well, 37 years. This may be her home, kind of."
I never say never.
Right.
Except about a few little odds and ends. So we won't, like wearing a wedding dress for a third time. No.
Oh my gosh! Here we go.
I had to put that out there because
Always
most of my friends
a bride,
know that.
never a bridesmaid. Go ahead. I'm sorry. So, are you going to move back home?
Did you hear? That's a never. I will never do that again. People say,
Wow,
"Oh,
that's
Diane."
pretty strong.
Oh no, there's people, Diane, that third time's a charm. 3 strikes, you're out. I'm not. No, I'm not doing that. So I never say never except for that.
You're just disappointed about a half a dozen men out there.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. But anyhow, I have no plans to move back to Missouri. Now that's not to say,
right?
If the Lord
37
says,
years, you've got almost as much time here as you did growing up, or whatever.
But the point of it is, if it's in my heart, and God says time for you to go, time for you to go back home for whatever reason. Well, go back to Missouri because that's my childhood home. That's where I have family.
Well, I think if Mom and Dad were still alive, that would be a totally different conversation.
Yeah. But my mom and dad are no longer.
Yeah.
They're and I got to tell you, Johnny, and you know this too. There are times that I miss my mom and dad immensely. But I think, Diane, that is so selfish because they're walking the streets of paradise. They're in paradise. But I just miss them so much because I miss seeing them. But that's the human part of us.
That's the selfish humanness of us.
But that's the beauty.
Yeah.
The more you love, the more you grieve, and the more you miss. And as long as you have that, you know that you did right by your family and your family did right by you, because I do.
Right.
I miss them so much. Sometimes I just still feel like I ran into somebody, Mom, I want to let you know. Or it's kind of like I think of somebody from back in Missouri, and I think, now what was that connection to Grandma and Grandpa? I've got to call Mom and Dad. Yeah.
Don't have that.
But it's good because you know where they. I know where they are.
But you still have family and friends there if you wanted to move back, though. But
Absolutely. I do have extended family. I have a lot of friends that were so kind during both my mom and dad's funerals that reconnected with me.
Right.
And it was, it really was. It's quite lovely that you learn. You never burn your bridges, no matter where you go or whatever profession you're in. A lot of people not a lot, but some people I say.
A lot of young people need to hear that.
Well, and you never burn your bridges, but there are some people that that have retired, and unfortunately they say that I'm so glad I retired because I hated that job. I never want. I'm just so glad that I thought, how sad for you. How sad for you that you left because you hated someplace and you were relieved to leave. With me, I'm always tickled when I'm invited to come back. Like when I was invited to come back to watch the LAB Awards, and I had no idea.
Congratulations, by the way.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I had people tell me that just the other day. Congratulations on being inducted into the Hall of Fame. But I had no idea when Rob, our news director, sent me the little text. They said, hey, we're going to have the LABs are coming up next week, and would love for you. They're going to be virtual. Would love for you to come and watch them with us in the newsroom. I thought, thank you for letting me still be a part of everybody. Thank you for letting me still be the Channel 9 family.
Trust me, that's never going to go away, ever.
But it was so funny when I walked in, in the newsroom, and we were watching and all, and I was just talking to everybody, and then when it started, and the governor announced my name.
So congratulations to Diane Deaton of WAFB.
I thought, holy cow, I had no idea. When people started clapping for me, and then of course Rob and Joe Scortino, our general manager. I mean, I told somebody later, I thought, I'm glad I cleaned up and looked cute and had a nice piece of jewelry on. I would have died having my picture without nice jewelry, So anyhow, but it was, I'm just so happy to be part of the Channel 9 family and
always
and
will
to
be.
do, and to be able to do this with you. And congratulations on Asian Nation. But
we're having fun with that.
Oh, but I'm sad about Java Talk.
And we talked about that. It was really weird because when I went to Rob and Joe and talked about the rekindling Java Talk, they were wondering if we would want to rekindle that. And I said, it's kind of a me and Di thing, though.
It was.
I mean, it really was. It wouldn't be Java Talk without Johnny and Di.
Yeah.
So we rebirthed a brand new type of online programming
Good for
service,
you.
Nation. But so now, who retired first, you or Dee Dee Bro? You retired.
Dee Dee, no.
Dee Dee retired
Dee Dee,
first.
remember? Yeah.
So now,
yeah.
do you keep in touch with some of these folks like Dee Dee Bro
Well,
and
but
some of the, you know?
I don't see him out and about.
Right.
You know, I don't see him. Because Judy was so lovely. She was one of the people that came the last days, you know,
Oh,
when I was
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And I've got my, LSU Deaton jersey. My brother up in Oklahoma, they're real impressed about that I have my own LSU, because those were the days, remember,
Oh, yeah.
with Joe Burrow when, OU played LSU. And that I was in Missouri for that, and they were up there as well. It was kind of like, this is, I just said, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And I remember my sister-in-law, she's a big, big OU fan. That was a big, and then she was saying, they LSU made a touchdown, then they made a touchdown. It went back and forth. And then when OU looked like that, they made another. And she goes, new game. It was a new game. And then LSU ran rampant over OU. She goes, let's go get a pizza. And I said, okay, let's just go get a pizza, because there's no coming back. It was so sweet and so kind, but yeah. But I know, to answer your question, I have not seen, oh my gosh, how about Kim Mulkey coming back?
I know.
Oh my gosh. How big now? Okay. Kramer Robertson, her son.
LSU needs some good news right now, and that was fantastic
But
news.
remember Kramer Robertson with LSU
yes,
baseball?
indeed.
Okay, do you remember when he was in the studio? You remember he came into the studio? I will never forget this. He's being interviewed, Matt and Lauren interviewing him, for whatever phenomenal, he did for LSU baseball. And commercial break, and he's walking off, and he's walking past the Weather Center. And I'm saying, oh, stop. And I think he thought I was going to take a fan pic with him.
Right.
I said, no, Kramer, stop. I love your necklace. You remember he had that gold cross on?
He was
and
like,
he's looking at me, and I
okay.
said, oh no. And so he said, so I'm talking jewelry with Kramer Robertson. I'll never forget that. Gold, beautiful
I think you were talking
cross.
jewelry at Kramer Robertson.
He was good, because that was a beautiful cross he had on. And he was telling me all about it. I said, thank you. I didn't want a picture. I just wanted to stop and look at his gold, cross. Yeah.
Who picked her up at the airport? Paul Maneri. Because he was very good friends. He got very close to her when Kramer was playing
Was
for
that
him.
today?
That was, we're taping this on Monday,
okay,
so
yeah, sorry.
that was
I
today.
forget about that,
That's
yeah.
cool. No,
Okay.
you're right. That was today.
I didn't know that.
So, he picked her up at the airport, and I'm sure they had a lot to talk about. But Matt had an interesting comment this morning. He said, you can't be on, you can't understand somebody's pressures on that level unless you're a coach on that level, and both of them are.
Yeah, I can't imagine that.
Because with her, some world, some championships under her belt as well. So
right.
That's
and
crazy.
the pressures of being on there with Johnny Asian.
Oh,
because
my heavens.
I hear that all the time.
Oh, my
I hear that all the time. Again, mine is, do you see your morning show family? Do you see Johnny?
So,
because
not
we did.
enough, but yeah.
And
But that's
now
going to start gradually getting better. I think a lot of what we're doing with regard to the separation is the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we would never be this close without masks, unless we were both well past that second shot.
But this has been a lot of fun. I was so flattered when you sent me a little text about you'll call me when you get a minute, and I thought, oh, what's going on? But I think actually, Johnny, the last time I saw you, because my last day
I was
you were
still working at
broadcasting from home, and when were you there when we got the Emmy? Were you? I don't.
Yes, I saw you
did.
there at the Emmy presentation.
Okay, so I saw you back in January, but I didn't get to see you. The other times,
Nope.
and the only other time was when Liz Cohen and I came to Christmas Eve services at your church.
That's right.
Remember, that's when I got to see you. So it's been so weird not to be able to see people, but it's. I'm just, and I call Grammy every now and again. How was your first winter in Omaha?
Gosh.
Oh my gosh, I visit with Lauren every now and again, but everybody's schedules, I don't ever want to bother anyone, because, they're evening shifts and
Isn't that
and
so
all that.
funny, though, how, different jobs we've had in the past, it just seems like these folks, they're different than just coworkers that you've run across in your life. We're staying in each other's life.
Yeah. We always talk about that, that we have the picture of the six of us. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That was a Jill Rigby Garner, the very last big event before COVID shut everything down, her Manners of the Heart. And we were all six of us were there. We were all emceeing, that was a circus in and of itself. God love Jill for letting us do that. But if you recall, we all decided we need to get a picture taken of all six of us. Let's do it. That was before anybody thought about anybody made
you'll be
an
back on
announcement.
stage when she gets that back up and running.
Yeah,
There's no question.
but just to have the picture of the six of us,
You know,
before
little
Graham
did we
left,
think, what was
before
that,
I
late
left.
February, early March?
Yeah,
of 20?
right before COVID.
And we had
like
no
the week-
idea that was the last
But we were thinking, well, now let's just go, because we were talking to so many
Mm-hmm,
people. But I think it was you and Liz, or maybe Lauren, said, no, let's stand in line.
Yeah.
Remember, we had the professional photographer with
Right.
the picture, the black and white. And that's the last picture of all. We call ourselves the Dream
Isn't
Team.
it something?
And we are. There'll be many, many more accolades and many more Emmys for you all, on the morning show and everything that you do. But that was my last one, and I'm so honored and so blessed to have had it.
Whoever
with
thought
the six
that
of
picture
you.
would be the last time we would
All
be
6 of
together
us.
as a group.
Yep,
That
as a
little group right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, now you did a lot of philanthropic work before, during, and you didn't do it because of the station. You did it because of the directions of your heart. Are you
I
still
love doing that.
doing some things?
Well, not right, because again.
Well, I mean,
you
yeah,
know,
but
I'm
as things
still-
start to relax a little bit,
I'm
like
hoping so, 'cause I'm
habitat
really-
and the animals at the
I am
hospital,
so
pet
excited
therapy.
about doing pet therapy again. I'm real good friends with, with the folks that are in charge of pet therapy, with LSU and all that, the LSU Tiger Hats. And when I talked to her, I talked to my friends, said, do we know anything? That she said, well, we're looking more and more like the hospital's going to start, because I was really big with the Children's Hospital, of course. By the way, congratulations, nice promos
Oh, wow.
for the Children's
Yeah.
Hospital
We
for the
missed you
5
that
cars.
day.
I was there in spirit.
15-second promos take 4 or 6 hours, something like that.
Those were the days. I love
my
it.
word.
But anyhow, again, everything that we're doing, I'm so proud to be a part of that. But that was really my big, with the Children's Hospital. And now my friend said, well, now if you want to, pet therapy goes to all different hospitals, to Baton
know
Rouge
that.
General. Oh yeah, Arley the
Okay.
Lake, some nursing facilities. And she said, if you would like to do a few more things, so we'll see. I might be able to do it as long as I have, them with me, because I don't have my animal. I'm certified
So-
with one of theirs.
Oh,
One of
yeah.
their Goldens or their
Right,
Birdie's
right.
Mountain Dogs. So
And that's not something you can just walk into.
Oh no,
You've
no,
gotta-
you do not. You've got to be
Yeah.
certified. The animal has to be. The handler has to be, and it's But it's so important, and to see the smile.
The animal has to have its shots. You've
Oh,
got
yeah.
your shots.
Yeah,
So-
we all have our shots, but again, that's really important for the safety of the hospital staff and the people, because so many times we have people say, "Oh, come to my child's room, come to my child." No, you can't just do that. They have to have a waiver, or they have to sign
right, yeah.
something with the hospital that it's okay to come to the child's room. So there are a lot of checks and balances. You just don't walk in with pet therapy.
Now
So-
you're a big animal lover,
Oh,
specifically
yeah.
dogs, kind of like the Ellie Clampett, if you will.
Yeah.
But well, except for chickens.
Penny.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
Penny the
I know,
chicken.
Ross. Ah! Well, okay, Peggy. She was so good during commercial break.
Penny.
And I heard from Brenda Walkenhorst.
How's she doing?
Oh, she's doing so well. She is going to, what was it? She sent me a card and told me she was going to get into a totally different line. Like, she's going to be like a culinary coach. And I thought, what? And she said, the next time I'm in Baton Rouge, we're going to have lunch, and I'm going to explain. You remember Brenda? She went all over the world
yeah.
traveling, and she said, this is my second act.
She brought
She said,
Penny
Diane,
the chicken.
she said, Diane, you're going to have a second act from Channel 9, from what you're doing, and I'm having a second act. And she said, and I don't know exactly what yours is going to be, but she said, I'm working on mine, and we're going to enjoy every minute of our, don't you love that, our second act?
I like that.
I love Brenda Walkenhorst.
I
So
like that. I
anyhow,
like that whole philosophy.
yeah, of a second act.
Because you're not going to roll over and just going to go to sleep. I can't.
No.
To
Have we
try
had-
to set this visit up was a nightmare because you
No,
never
it
catch
wasn't.
her. You
Yeah,
can never catch her.
So how long have we gone? I've been kind of worried about going half an hour. Have we
You're
gone
good.
past-
No,
Okay.
24 minutes or so, and you know.
And I didn't think I could fill
Penny
15.
the chicken in there. We showed the picture of all of us at Jill's place.
some of the different things that we've done, but it's so we'll see what, because I love to travel. I just love to travel. In the last year, I couldn't do my international travel, and I've already had some friends talk about they're planning next summer of 2022 going back to Greece and Italy.
Really?
But I don't know, because that's what I did, my very last big trip before COVID shut everything down. And I think of all the places, I've not, this sounds strange, of course, I've not been to the state capital of my home state. I've not been to Jefferson City, Missouri. I've not been to the state capital, but I've been to London, Paris, and Rome, and I've been to Venice, and I've been to all some of the European capitals. But I think, I'd like to do some traveling in the States.
Now, were you born and raised in St. Joe, or
In Missouri.
In Missouri.
Yeah, in Missouri. So, but anyhow, but to be able to do some things, do a little bit of traveling here in the States. There are many places. I'd love to go to Santa Fe. I'd love to go to Albuquerque.
Wow.
I've not been to the Southwest. Why? I want to get some turquoise jewelry. I love turquoise jewelry.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm thinking I'd like to do that.
What's that jewelry place, that island I went to when I went to
Mallorca.
Mallorca. Yeah.
Off the coast of Spain. You wrote me back Mallorca pearls.
I'm trying to get my vacation set up and my relief and all of this going across the seas. And the one thing she's worried about is bringing back some jewelry. I said, I don't even. Mallorca? I'd never even heard
Mallorca.
of it.
Oh, yeah, and I love Mallorca. So the jewelry
and
there.
since then, I've heard about it from a lot of people.
Yeah. And remember, even when I was on my cruise in Greece, they had a little shop there in the gift shop of Mallorca pearls. You have to get that. Yeah, you had to get that as well. So, but I do want to do some international traveling, and I want to do that because I do love it. There are so many places yet to see, and I just as long as the good Lord says, gives me the okie dokie, it's okay, and as long as I feel good. I have good travel friends. I have a lot of friends who like to travel.
Well, you're retiring young enough to do things and enjoy them, and good health. So I mean, you've got a lot of years left to go and have fun.
I hope so.
Without the
and then again,
2 o'clock alarm.
2:30.
2:30.
Yeah, it was all good. And I got to tell you, just real quickly, one of the other things that I did that I like to do was the attic trash and treasure.
Oh yeah.
Remember when we used to, we used to go out there. They'd have the people around the building. Well, they had it again this year, but it's on a much, much, much smaller scale. Because of COVID restrictions in the place they had it. It was small, and they were only allowing so many people in, and they took your temperature and all that. So my neighbor, hey Steve, how are ya? My next door neighbor, I love them. So, do what?
We're trying to talk her to coming back.
We're doing a little interview here. Isn't it fun? So I have to wave. So my next door neighbor, I love them. They've been so good to me through COVID and through everything. They invite me over to supper a whole lot because they have they're good cooks. And they said, yeah, you need to come over. Yeah, I like their food.
That is too awesome.
You still hung with Steve Caparato.
Steve!
Yeah, Steve. And so my next door neighbor's name's Steve.
Or Burnell, our engineer. Burnell.
How is Burnell?
He is so relaxed now. And at least twice a week, you call Burnell at 4:30 in the morning from your desk.
Or you hear my heels click, 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 click.
Where's
See my nose, Burnell?
Where's Burnell?
And poor Burnell said, Burnell, first of all, I didn't break it, and it wasn't my fault. That was a big joke. Oh, Diane, did you break it? I didn't break it.
No, but it is so funny because I heard Steve Caparato the other day call for Burnell, and I'm thinking,
yeah. See, I'm telling you, it wasn't just me.
No.
It wasn't just
something
me.
That happened.
So anyhow, I digress. I got, from distracted by my neighbors and everything. But anyhow, attic trash and treasure. Even though it was COVID and they, took your temperature, I was there. I go shopping there. I had my picture in the Morning Advocate shopping. I thought, oh well, some things never change with my name, and I'm picking up some clothes. But anyhow, in spite of everything, they raised $100,000. Yes.
That's surprising.
Now, in the past, we've had as high, because, Habitat for Humanity was one of the big, nonprofits that would get the money. So in the past, when they've had the big ones, $200,000, $225,000 they would raise just from stuff.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody.
Now, how much of that $100,000 ended up here at your house?
So they had the 5 charities, and what they did this year, because usually they would have the different tiers. Tier 1 would get the most money.
Right.
Tier 2 would get, the second amount, and then Tier 3 there were always a number of nonprofits. So, because they had $100,000 this year, all 5 of them, the nonprofits, they shared it equally. They all got a check for $20,000, and I was invited. It was at the library on Goodwood. I was invited. I believe it was last month. It was it was in March, in March I think it was, or was it early April, whatever. Anyhow, but I was invited to the check presentation because I'm a member of the Attic Trash and Treasure, the inner wheel. So I went, And it was so, you know who I ran into? Of course, Lynn Clark,
Oh,
Habitat
really?
for Humanity, and Michael Acaldo.
From St. Vincent de Paul.
Yes. Yeah, so anyhow, so the 5 charities were the iBank, Habitat for Humanity, McMain's, St. Jared, and St. Vincent de Paul.
Wow.
So all of those wonderful nonprofits got a check.
In the middle of all of this, they were still able to donate to some charities.
Yes, $20,000
That's a
to
great-
each charity. And again, thank you so much. But I'll tell you what, that was a lot of work for the ladies involved for getting all that together.
Always
and
is.
just congratulations. It was work, and the volunteers, and everybody pulled together, and I'm just so happy because they didn't want to not have it,
Yeah.
but they couldn't. They just couldn't have it on the scale. And the one last year, they barely, just like
yeah.
Jill's, just like Manners of the Heart, they barely got in under the wire for that last year
Yep.
to get that.
They sure did.
And that was, I
mean,
believe,
that was
they
the
raised
last big event.
$225,000 that they raised. But again, thank you for everybody who came out.
That's such a
and
great
hopefully
thing
it's
to
going to be,
support, yeah.
And I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that and thank everybody for saying that.
Yeah, because she gets kicked out of things like the Antique Roadshow that came to town. That's a whole nother show. We'll get you back on and talk about that.
Nation. Maybe when I'm allowed to co-host with you for something
Let's
again.
do it.
Do you think they'll let me? Oh, please, Joe, please, Rob,
I
please
can
let
tell
me
you
co-host.
without doubt that
Sometime.
you will be on stage with us
At some
many
point.
times.
At
And
some
As
point.
things relax and
Yeah.
things start happening again, no question.
Is there going to be live after 5? Are you going to do live after 5?
Yeah, they're starting to talk about that
Okay.
in August.
In August, okay.
For the fall. August through
really?
November,
See,
yeah.
That's going to be better. Instead of trying to push it for April or May,
Right.
hopefully, and it might be cooler then
Oh,
too.
yeah.
August.
And they said at the beginning of the pandemic, we're a year and a half out
Yeah.
of getting back to some degree.
yeah.
And that's what
Yeah.
it looks like it's ending up being.
Right.
So that's crazy.
I'm so excited about seeing that again and being part of that, and just to be a part of the fabric
Yeah.
that is Baton Rouge and South Louisiana, and
And you're part of that fabric. 37 years.
Thank you. And I go, I still go to my little places, my little antique places I like to go to. I still go, of course, to Denham Springs, LP, still helping support, the economy
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Going up to Zachary and going
They had
to
their
Central
deal
Parish.
this year for the first time
Yes,
since the pandemic.
they had their big spring festival, yeah. And I just enjoy people just saying, good to see you. We're so glad that, and a lot of people say, thank you. Just thank you that we enjoy waking up to the smiles. We enjoyed waking up to the team and to the craziness. When you all had to be serious, we knew where to get our serious news. But when you all had the option or the ability just to bring some fun into a day, thank you for bringing fun
A
into
little
our
levity,
day.
yeah.
And that's
great. You're part of that.
Yeah, thanks.
Will you come back on with me?
Yes, I would love to. Now you probably noticed we don't have any coffee. I'm just now thinking I've got our chum my coffee mugs.
That's right.
So we can do that again.
Okay.
So I can invite myself because I'm pretty good at inviting myself places.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Would we be able to stop you if you? Yeah. No.
Well, I don't.
No.
I'm not allowed in the station
I'm just
anymore.
excited,
I
though,
don't have
because
a badge anymore.
The last
so I
time
can't
we
walk
did
in.
see each other before she retired, she was going to come live with me, and I'm like,
Oh, no.
ooh,
That was when my retirement money.
darn! Look at the time.
That was when my retirement money ran out in my mid-90s. Yeah, all of us living together in the mid-90s. That might be kind of a challenge, but so far so good.
No,
Yeah,
you
so
got a
far so
long
good.
way to go for that
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, we've got
Thank
a little
goodness.
ways to go. So
So come on.
And thank
Wasn't that
you.
big of a deal, was
Oh.
it? No. Yeah.
I'm just glad it's behind us.
Yep.
So glad it's behind us. And thank you again. It has been so much fun visiting,
The
catching up.
Asian
And
Nation from Diane
And
Deaton's
did we talk-
beautiful courtyard.
did we talk much about you? I think it was all kind of about me.
It needed to be all about you.
Well, but
this was not.
When Johnny asked me, I thought, I can't fill 30 minutes.
No,
And
she
it's-
filled 40 minutes. So, yeah, she was right.
Yay! Love,
You
love
sweet
y'all.
lady.
Thank
We'll see you next Tuesday on
Yay.
the Asian Nation. I'll see you tomorrow morning on 9 News This Morning.
Oh, what did I talk about? Oh my gosh, Rick,
That
I'm
was
sorry.
perfect.
Was it okay, Rick?
I told you.
Oh my.
She's like, Johnny, I don't know. There's no way we can. I got 10 minutes, maybe.
Oh my. I've got
I'm like,
nothing to say.